starting on Friday.
We just released a 2 deep, and that's kind of where we're at right now, and it's where we're going.
Was there any discussion to giving him another week and then having him play against Illinois?
Yeah, he hasn't practiced a lot, but he went through everything today, and we'll plan on playing everybody that's available.
Tommy and DJ both have an or next to their name. Can you talk to us about kind of their position battle over the course of camp and just what you've seen from both of them?
I gotta make sure I got a lot of oars on this thing, Michael. So, but again, guys, especially up front, there's, that's a rotating position. Could be by amount of snaps, could be down distance. All those guys will play. So, and really, it's a battle of. I think that's one of the positions, especially that because it's a rotating one, though, it's also one who's maybe had the best week and locked in and been doing some things that might get the chance to go out there for the first snap. And I still think there's value in being a starter. And, we've talked in here about the competition within the program. And one thing you don't want it to be is where guys are just content that, well, I get to play. So, again, those things. So I think Tommy and DJ have really come a long way and as players, but also maturing as people, and it's really neat to see. And I'm glad they got a lot of snaps left in our program, and I'm looking forward to seeing them on Friday night.
It's another year where you have a Power 5 game in week 2. So for this Friday, I guess, what do you want to see from your team and make you feel better?
I want us to play just like we're playing anybody each and every week, that we go out and, play to our best and show the improvement in every area that we need to be physical. We need to be physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and it establishes itself right there and to have a presence. And much like all of you, we've got a lot of new names and faces a little bit in that front, and I'm going to be excited to see them in live action.
And for you guys going into this week, we talked a lot in camp about guys having soft tissue stuff that they're dealing with. Just how healthy do you feel like you are?
Getting there, there's, I thought we were in a pretty good position yesterday. Then a couple things today kind of happens. I think we'll be in pretty good shape by the time the ball's kicked off. And like every year, the injury report from week 2 to now goes from 2 pages to a half a page or something. So it shrinks, and then some of those guys are just on there from past surgeries and things like that are just maintenance. So I think we'll be in a good spot. I know they're working hard, and as we get ready, I think we'll be in a good shape.
You have Keaton as the third X on here, and he's one of only a few freshmen to make it on the depth chart. Just what did he do to impress you guys? Yeah,
Keaton Quebec's had a really fine camp. He's going to help us in special teams, and he keeps developing. I think, Kevin Terry left the program, so there was ample opportunities for him to get reps offensively through camp and on special teams, and he's maximized those. I had a chance to go watch Keaton play last year, and to watch him on special teams really caught my eye because for a young player to some of the positions he played on special teams and his passion about it, I had a feeling he could help us somewhere down the line. I didn't anticipate it being this quickly, but it's good to see. And I think as he continues to develop through the season, he's going to have a chance to help us on the offensive side as well.
And in terms of the return game, just something where you guys maybe could have more production, just how have you been evaluating the different options in terms of kick and punt returners?
I'm sorry, just say, are you talking kicking game or return game, both, or just taking a holistic?
I was asking about return game.
Return game, I'm sorry. And, Trevor Wilson's going to get some opportunities back there. Speed, strength, again, make you miss abilities. I think, Kenny's proven to be a good kick returner when return opportunities present themselves. Luke Grimm was, I thought, at the beginning of the year was doing a solid job. Then he was injured, and then we kind of got to a point. OJ was back there, and and he's still doing some, but I think part of that sometimes we just got into the mode of securing possessions, and I think in everything we've got to continue to take return opportunities when they present themselves. And again, I think everything special teams wise is something I'll be excited to see us kind of take the field in live action. And as you know, early in the season you watch games, special teams are a big part because it's hard to replicate that in practice on a continual basis, and it's one that you got to be able to adjust to.
Lance, when you go back and watch Missouri State on film from last year, I know they played Arkansas pretty close. What do you see from them?
Yeah, Arkansas game was one I'm sure they felt, they're ahead. They could have won. A lot of those things that was early. I guess that's the one common opponent that we had. Obviously, new coaching staff, but a lot of people retained since it was Coach Petrino just moving on himself. So the interesting thing, John, is going to be, how much is carryover and what's new flavor, okay? And Coach Beard taking over as head coach, was defensive coordinator. You anticipate some things being the same, but Coach Petrino's son's now the offensive coordinator, so you know where some of it's still going to be. You would think foundationally, but much like everyone, you got to get the feel for the rhythm of the game pretty early. They play in an excellent conference. I don't know. I tried to ask our staff yesterday, what's the percentage of the last 10 years that the national champs come out of the Missouri Valley? They're going to come in here expecting to win, not wanting to win. They're not going to flinch at an opportunity to play against a Power 5 opponent. I would imagine somewhere along there's, year in and year out, that conference seems to get a win against an FBS opponent. So they have our respect. They've been able to add transfers. They've been a program that I think has always been able to attract transfers even before the portal was active, with the immediate eligibility at the FCS level. And we know that they've got some weapons on both sides of the ball. They've got good speed. And really, they got a nice mixture in the backfield. I think the quarterback situation you might see, we're kind of a wait and see there at the moment of both play or not. But again, a tight end core that's pretty productive and can use in a lot of different ways. So they can kind of personnel you in some things. So we're going to be, it's going to be kind of a wait and see early in the game many times in this first game as you try to feel the identity of a team.
On that idea of what carries over, what's new, specifically with you guys, how confident are you in how you'll start games, and what do you think?
Well, again, you want to be confident. Again, I think you're probably asking, offensively, I think we've been able to start pretty aggressively and move the ball, but defensively, maybe we haven't. And I think, again, those are things we've talked about and continue to try to address and play confidently out of the gate. And I think some of the things that we've experienced success-wise, we've got to carry over from the minute the ball's kicked off. And, again, that not just game experience, but experience through the locker room hopefully is going to carry itself, and I sure hope we see that in this early part of the season.
Curious to follow up with Jalen. You said he practiced today for the game on Friday. How do you weigh him getting game reps, knocking off rust, and also limiting the exposure to potentially aggravating things?
That's the balancing act that we have to do, and we're getting him as much work as we can in as many different ways. And again, he's been getting work. He's been doing things and that. So to make it sound like he's never practiced in the last 2 weeks is not accurate either. So, but yeah, we're confident, and unfortunately for him, it's something that he's gone through a little bit before, is getting mental reps and doing things and where he's at. But I think we're in a really good spot with him.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you.